Welcome to Transformational Vedic Astrology. My name is Michael Mastro, and today we'll look at the chart for Tom Hanks, born July 9th, 56, Concord, California. If we look to the eastern horizon, now we're using Vedic sidereal astrology, not Western um astrology. So if we look to the eastern horizon, when he was born, you would see the constellation associated with Leo rising at 28 degrees. 28 degrees becomes the most effective point of every house. And any planet like Mars, like Sun, like Venus, that's within 5 degrees of that 28 degrees has impact, quite a bit of impact in his life. And any planets that are conjunct or aspecting each other within 5 degrees also have impact. So let's look and see how the planets are operating, and we'll see when they're operating, because not everything happens all at once. And then we'll look and see what we could do to strengthen the chart. So first, we want to see how the planets are operating. So a lot of people feel Saturn, Mars, Sun are always malefic, but we know that many people that in certain rising signs have good good benefits during a Mars period or a Sun period or a Saturn period, depending on their rising sign. So for Leo, the malefics are Rahu and Ketu, which they are for every sign. But then we look to see how the functionality of the planets. So any multicona sign, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11, that are found in the 6th, 8th, or 12th, the challenging Dusthana houses, becomes a functional malefic, and all the other planets are functional benefics. So Cancer, the fourth sign, ruled by Moon in the 12th house, becomes malefic for the Leo chart, as well as Rahu and Ketu. Now we want to see where these, when we want to look at what Tom Hanks is working on in this life, we look to see where the multicona signs are. So by multicona, I mean that, for example, Libra, Venus rules 2 signs. It rules Libra and Taurus, but it's mostly connected to Libra. So Libra becomes the multicona sign. And so these multicona signs are 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11. So let's see which houses. Each of these houses has something to do with some aspect of Tom Hanks's life. So he came here to work on his life purpose. The 5th sign, it's a multicona sign ruled by Sun. Sun rules this chart. And so he came here to work on longevity, life purpose, his self-esteem, his identity. He came here to work on Virgo, ruled by Mercury, wealth and recognition and continuation of the marital bond. He came here to work on business and communication, Libra, ruled by Venus. Then Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. He came here to work on having children, doing creative things, getting a great education, entertainment. He came here to work on partnerships. Aquarius, ruled by Saturn. He came here to work on Aries, ruled by Mars, good fortune, religion, law, relationship with father. And then he came here to work on spiritual growth through letting go of the past, separations, hospitalization, losses. So those are the main houses that we're going to be looking at. So let's look at each planet and how it's operated. So Sun's at 24 degrees. It's close to the most effective point, and it's very strong and well placed in his chart. So this gives him a strong identity to have acting roles, strong self-confidence, He was mostly connected to his dad because he was separated from his mom at a very early age. His father took him and raised him. And he has an interest in politics. He's a political activist. So Moon is at 16 degrees. Again, it's a malefic, and so it gives him some sensitivity to his acting roles. So this 12th house has to do with being able to separate his own identity from the roles that he takes on in his acting um, parts, and gives it a good sensitivity, which makes him a successful actor. Now, he was separated from his mom at a very early age because Moon is malefic, and felt very uprooted as a child, like a lot of travel, moving from place to place. This is the house of relocation. Mars is at 24 degrees. It rules the house of good fortune, gives him good fortune through partnerships with agents and producers and directors, and gives him courage to take on very challenging roles, and a lot of passion and drive to be successful at those roles. And this is also the house of government and politics, very much interested in politics. Mercury's at 12 degrees. It rules the house of wealth and recognition. And so he gains wealth and recognition through his communication skills and income and friendships through acting. Jupiter's at 7 degrees. Jupiter rules the house of creativity, so I gave him great creativity. Jupiter also strong and well placed, gives confidence. It's in the first house, so strong self-identity. Gave him children, and again, probably the acting skills were. This is, growth and success of his life purpose through acting and helping other people in charities. Venus is at 29 degrees. Now, Venus is ruling the house of performing arts, success through performing arts. It's placed in the career house, so connection between career and performing arts, which is acting. It's a little bit weak, but it is close to the most effective point, so that gives it some protection and strength. And now, having a weak Venus can affect the kidney, and he does have type 2 diabetes, and his didn't get along with his first wife, challenges with the wife. So Saturn is at 3 degrees. It is functional malefic, close to the most effective point, and it rules the house of partnerships. It's placed in the house of happiness. So happiness through home life and partnerships, and partnerships is a very big part of acting, because you have to have a relationship, good, strong relationships with the actors, other actors, the producer, the director, your agent. And it gave him discipline to work hard at perfecting his acting career, focus. Gave him a strong desire to help other people in charities and politics. Rahu and Ketu. Now, Rahu and now Moon is also pretty benign. It's not really afflicting anything in the. It's not close to the most effective point. It's not afflicting its house or the house 7 houses away. So it's fairly benign. And Rahu and Ketu are benign as well. They're not close to the most effective point. So they're not afflicting any other planets that are within 5 degrees or the houses they're in. Now, this relationship, the Rahu-Ketu axis, Rahu is desire for family, Ketu is spiritual insights into his career. But in this axis, it means you are really struggling to have a balance between home life and work life. So his first marriage failed because he didn't give enough attention to his wife and his children. He was always, off in his acting assignments. So in the second marriage, he was more in a Venus period, so he did focus more on his wife, second marriage is much more successful. He did pay more attention to his children. Now, and he did give some spiritual significance and sensitivity and compassion to his roles. So let's see when the planets are operating. He had a sun in 1977 during a Jupiter period. He got married in 88 in a Venus period, Venus's wife, and relationships. 1990, he had another sun during a Jupiter period. He was very successful in his Venus and Sun period, so in the 90s and the early 2000s. Now, in March 12th, he announced that he had tested positive for the coronavirus. So let's look. That was a Mars-Mercury period. Mercury is lungs. So let's look at the chart for March 12th. We can see that transit Rahu is afflicting Mercury, natal Mercury. So that Mercury is lungs. So unexpected events affecting Mercury, and also Rahu can be connected to virus. K2, which is also unexpected events, poison, afflicting Venus, which rules the house of lungs. And Moon is afflicting Venus. Moon is also lungs and fluid in the body, fluids in the lungs. So those are the main things. And then we can see that it wasn't a real strong afflictions. So, a few days later, these planets, not having as much effect. So he did get better. Now, there are, towards the end of March, when Mars afflicts Saturn, that can, create some intensity. So I don't know if he's out of the woods yet. But luckily, Moon, being the K2 and Rahu are not close to the most effective point, so not causing much issues. And Moon is, moving very fast. So whatever issues he has, highs and lows, they're very short-lived. So what could we do to strengthen this chart? So what we want to do is strengthen any of his weak planets. So Venus, even though it's close to the most effective point, it is in old age. Any planet that's more than 25 or less than 5, like Saturn, is said to be weak. It cannot promote or his own signification. So I think that partnerships could be strengthened with Saturn, wearing dark blue, blue sapphire, or a kavash containing the Devata yantra for Saturn, and strengthening Venus with the Devata yantra for Venus in a locket called the kavash, a protective shield, or wearing a diamond. And then let's see what else could use some strengthening. So Sun is in pretty good shape. Mercury and Jupiter are just a little bit slightly weak. Let's see here. Venus is debilitated in the Navamsa, so it also, needs strengthening in that way. So Jupiter's pretty strong. Not a lot of issues there. But I'd say Mercury, his communication skills could be improved by wearing green or green emerald, or also the Devata yantra for Mercury in Kavash. Now, and on Mars as well could be strengthened by wearing red and a Devata yantra for Mars. Now, we don't want to strengthen the malefics, but we can transform Rahu and K2 by giving to charities, giving to spiritual organizations for K2, and for people who cannot help themselves, like research for cancer, etc., for Rahu, and then Moon helping women on Mondays. So Shiva chants for Moon and Rahu, or any spiritual chants. K2, Ganesh chants, or any spiritual chants. So chants and charities will transform the malefics. So thank you for listening. That's all for now. If you're interested in a reading, you can see this astrology is very accurate. You can contact me at or order a Vedic astrology reading at vastucreations.com under services. Or if you want to learn how to do transformational Vedic astrology and become certified, or just to learn it, you can go to American Institute of Vastu.com. Thank you so much for listening.